Got a new D harmonica.
Okay.
It's a lovely harmonica, Seidel 1847.
Okay.
And I got that because I got a lovely similar old one at the festival for 20 quid off John Cook.
Okay.
But the thing is that the bends on 2 and 3 are really, really rubbish. So my question is, I don't really want to send it back or anything. The question is, should I take it to bits and play with the gapping?
Yes.
Or is that going to ruin the airtightness of a new harmonica? You think go for it?
Well, you're an experienced player, okay? You know what proper bending feels like and sounds like.
Yeah.
And you've got lots of different harmonicas, so you can compare that. You've got another D, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've got my old Hona. Yeah.
Right. So compare the two, and this new one is rubbish.
No, it really is rubbish. I mean, proper rubbish.
Yeah. So what's wrong with it? I don't know what's wrong with it. Something's not right. It's probably because
I could send it back.
It's probably because it's not airtight. Probably because the gaps are wrong, or it could just be that stainless steel reeds are not your flavour. You're used to brass reeds. It could just be that it doesn't suit you.
But the G that I've got really suits me, and the bending on it is
of the same model.
Yeah, same model, yeah.
Okay, so take it apart and have a tinker with it.
Okay, I will do.
Or we'll send it to a customizer if you can't figure it out. I wouldn't spend personally too long tinkering with harmonicas because I don't really know what I'm doing. I'd rather send them to somebody and pay them some money and say just sort it out. Give it back to me when it's ready. I prefer playing them than tinkering, but other people are the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, with it being brand new, I didn't know whether to just return it and tell them it's faulty. The trouble with that is that everybody who sends one back saying it's faulty.
No, it's probably you.
Probably most of them don't actually. Yeah.
Just check the gapping. If it looks, there should be the bigger gaps on the lowest reeds, the smallest gaps on the higher reeds. If it's way out of kilter, try closing the gap a little bit, and see if that helps. The gap, by the way, if people don't know what the gap is, I'll demonstrate with this model that I made earlier. That's the harmonica reed. The gap is that. Big gap, small gap. Zero gap. Average gap, you see a shadow. Can you see the shadow? That's when you're looking at gaps, you see a shadow. And that you measure the gap from there. So it doesn't want to be like that. It won't play if it's like that. And it won't play if it's like that. So it wants to be somewhere in between. The tighter the gaps, the more responsive it is, and the quieter it is, and the more accurate it is. So if you're playing live, you want the gap to be bigger. If you're playing in the studio, you want the gap to be smaller. If it's set in the middle, you won't even notice. It doesn't matter. But when the factories set the gaps, they set it for the average of their thousands of clients. They don't know how you play. Is that okay, Ed? We'll go back to Neil then.
I'm taking it to bits as we speak.
All right, we'll come back to you. There's news just coming in. Ed is taking his harmonica apart, I think. I've got more news coming in my left here. Neil's got masking tape all over his harmonica, so we're going back to Neil. Over to you, Neil.